Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're getting under the hood to talk about power, pancakes, and motion. Yeah, no, it sounds a little strange, but it's all part of the incredible story of the engine, the invention that took us from steam trains to supercars and is now pushing us into a whole new future. So what do they have in common? I know, it sounds like the setup for a really bad joke, doesn't it? But the answer actually connects all three of them to the wild, wonderful, and sometimes just plain weird story of how we power our world. Stick with me, and I promise it'll all make sense.
Okay, so let's get right down to it. What even is an engine? At its very core, it's just an energy converter. It takes one form of energy, like the chemical energy in gasoline or the electricity from a battery, and it transforms it into mechanical energy. In other words, motion, the force that actually moves our world.
So you can pretty much sort every engine you can think of into one of these three big families. You've got internal combustion, where the boom happens right inside the engine. Then there's external combustion, think old-school steam trains where the fire's outside. And of course, electric, which uses the magic of electromagnetism. But to really get how we got here, we've got to take a quick trip back in time. The whole story of the modern engine really kicks into high gear during the Industrial Revolution. This was when a few brilliant inventions just completely changed society and, well, put the entire world on the move. Now, what's absolutely wild when you look at this is just how fast everything happened. In a little over 100 years, we went from James Watt's massive steam engine, a thing that powered whole factories, to Carl Benz literally putting an engine on a buggy and creating the very first automobile. Each step just built on the last one, leading right to the car that might be in your driveway today.
Okay, so out of that history, one engine really rose to dominate everything. The internal combustion engine, or ICE for short. Let's pop the hood and see what makes this thing tick.
So, how does it work? Well, most car engines run on this beautiful, repeating four-step dance. The easiest way to remember it is suck, squeeze, bang, blow. First, it sucks in air and fuel. Then, a piston squeezes it. Bang! A spark plug lights it up, creating the explosion that makes the power. And finally, it blows the exhaust out. This happens thousands of times a minute, giving you that smooth, continuous power.
And that basic four-stroke idea comes in a few different flavors. You have the inline engine, where the cylinders are all in a nice, neat row, super simple, great for your average car. Then there's the V-type, which packs more power into a smaller space, perfect for trucks and performance cars. And then you have the flat or boxer engine, which lays the cylinders down sideways. Porsche and Subaru love this design because it gives their cars an incredibly low center of gravity for amazing handling.
But what happens when engineers get a little, bored with the basics? Well, that's when things get really interesting. Welcome to the mad scientists' lab of engine design, where they basically threw the rulebook out the window.
And there it is, our disco party. This is the perfect way to describe the Wankel rotary engine, which Mazda made famous. It has way fewer moving parts than a normal engine, so it's super smooth and can rev to the moon. The downside? They're known to be a little thirsty for fuel and oil, but for pure, high-revving performance, they are absolutely legendary.
Okay, get this. In the 1960s, Chrysler thought, you know what we should do? Put a jet engine in a car. I am not making this up. It sounded like a jet, and it could run on almost anything that burns. They even ran one on perfume once. But it used a ton of fuel and was a bit laggy, so it never really caught on with the public.
And that brings us to our game of chicken. This is talking about the opposed piston engine. Seriously, picture two pistons in the same cylinder flying towards each other. It's an incredibly efficient design that doesn't even need cylinder heads. It's also super complex though, which is why you've mostly seen it in heavy-duty stuff like tanks and submarines.
And there's our pancake. To get their supercars as low to the ground as possible, Ferrari took a powerful V12 engine and literally squashed it flat. This super-wide engine is what gave cars like the Testarossa that iconic shape and that amazing handling we were talking about. It was so big, they basically had to build the entire car around it.
And when you just want pure, unapologetic overkill, you build a V16. This is the engine for when you want to make a statement. Brands like Cadillac and Bugatti have used them, and it's all about delivering the smoothest, most effortless power you can imagine. It's not practical, it's not efficient, but man, it is the ultimate expression of engineering muscle.
So from these wild experiments to the engines we have today, the race is officially on to figure out the next great leap forward. The world is changing, and you can bet the engine is changing right along with it.
So what's next? Right now, it looks like a two-horse race. In one corner, you have electric powertrains. They're silent, they're quick, but the big hurdles are still batteries and charging. In the other corner, you have hydrogen. It's super versatile. You can use it in a fuel cell to make electricity, or, get this, burn it directly in an engine. The main challenge there is figuring out how to produce it cleanly and cheaply.
But here's the thing, the future might not be a single solution. This quote from Akio Toyoda at Toyota really gets to the heart of the debate. He's asking if putting all our eggs in the EV basket is the right move. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, the future is going to be a lot more diverse with a mix of different technologies powering our cars.
And speaking of which, don't count the internal combustion engine out just yet. Not by a long shot. It's getting a massive high-tech upgrade. We're talking carbon-neutral synthetic fuels, incredibly smart hybrid systems, and totally new ways of burning fuel that are cleaner than ever. The old-school engine isn't dead. It's evolving.
The engine story has always been one of constant change, from steam to pistons to spinning triangles, and now to electrons and hydrogen. This journey is so far from over, which leaves us with a really exciting question. What incredible new chapter is waiting to be written in the story of motion?